Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters. I'm your host Mitch, glad to have you here. Here at the Commander's Quarters, we build fun and inexpensive focused Commander decks. But today's episode is going to be a Commander quick take. On episodes like these, I give you my initial take on a newly spoiled Commander from an upcoming set. I'm going to talk about a potential direction for that Commander and possible cards that you can use for that build. In this show, and episodes like this are possible because of viewers like you. So make sure that you like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with friends. And while you're at it, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any episodes. You can also support this show directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without their support. Another way that you can support the show is by checking out our merchandise on thecommandersquarters.com. And finally, you can support this show by supporting our sponsor, TCG Player. So whenever you're buying a deck or just individual cards, make sure you use our links below. But before we really jump into this, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. On episodes like these, they are just initial quick takes. This Commander is just as new to me as it is to you. And because of that, I don't have a finalized deck build for this Commander yet. So the direction that I choose to take this Commander today might not be the same one that I do in a deck tech. And because of that, some of the cards I'm going to mention might not be in that deck either. Alright, now that we're on the same page, let's get into it. Today's Commander quick take is on Pashalik Mons. He's a 2/2 Goblin Warrior for 2 and a red. Whenever he or another goblin you control dies, Pashalik Mons deals 1 damage to any target, and you can pay 3 and a red to sacrifice a goblin to create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. This is a very neat goblin commander that creates more goblins by sacrificing goblins. On top of that, when those goblins die, they're going to ping any target for 1. So the more goblins that we make and sacrifice, the more damage that we're going to deal. My initial quick take for this commander is to make a goblin tribal deck that focuses on creating as many tokens as we can. 4 mana can be a little expensive for this ability, and we also need another token out there to get this started. Luckily for us, there are plenty of efficient ways for us to create goblin tokens outside of our commander's ability. Dragon Fighter is going to create 2 tokens, and Hurling Outburst will create 3. And we also have creatures that bring tokens with them, like Siege Gang Commander. And if we need to, we can also pay 2 mana for its sacrifice effect. And remember that with our commander in play, we get 1 additional damage on top of Siege Gang Commanders too. And after we get a good amount of tokens into play, we can use cards like Brightstorm Ritual and Battle Hymn to generate a ton of mana for our commander. This allows us to ping even more targets and create more tokens. And a card like Mana Geyser can generate even more mana for us the later the game gets. We can even use a card like Skirk Prospector to consistently generate mana for us. We're also going to be running other goblins with sacrifice effects in case we need to ping down targets quickly. With Goblin Chirurgeon, we can sacrifice a goblin to regenerate target creature. This is a fantastic way for us to protect our key creatures, especially our commander. And then red's not the best with card advantage, but Dark Dweller Oracle can really help us out. It lets us pay 1 and sacrifice a creature to exile the top card of our library, and we can play that card this turn. Again, these free and cheap sacrifice outlets are fantastic to have around. Our commander sacrifice ability is great, but it is a little costly. But it's also a good idea for us to double up on the damage output that he provides. So we're going to run Outpost Siege, and when we choose dragons, whenever a creature we control leaves the battlefield, it's going to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. And on the other end of the spectrum, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each player whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control. So each time we activate our commander's ability, it's going to deal 2 damage to all of our opponents. And then cards like Emperor Maul Hellion help our red permanents deal even more damage. By putting more and more cards like these onto the battlefield, we can take out our opponent's creatures and our opponents themselves very quickly. And as always, this deck can be improved upon by considering some out-of-budget options. Hearthstone can be a fantastic addition because it can reduce the cost of our commander's ability by 1. Essentially, it takes it from costing 4 mana to only 3 mana. While this might not seem like a lot, this is actually a pretty big jump. If we can get this down early, it allows us to activate our commander's ability a lot more throughout a game. But a much more effective way for us to create goblin tokens is with Krenko Mob Boss. By simply tapping it, it effectively doubles the number of goblins that we control. This can easily get out of hand in just 1 or 2 activations. And finally, a card like Ashnod's Altar is a fantastic include as well. This can help us generate a ton of mana in 1 turn for some huge plays and to create a lot of tokens. Overall, Pashalik Mons seems like a very interesting take on a goblin commander. If the deck's built correctly, it can definitely be very explosive. That being said, while it can be an effective goblin commander, I don't think it's going to take the top spot from Krenko. However, I do think that it can easily find a place in a Krenko deck. But I really want to hear your thoughts on this take, so why don't you let me know in the comments below. And make sure that you're following us on social media for more updates and sneak peeks on future episodes. Links to our social media accounts can be found in the description. Also in the description below is a link to the Commander's Quarters Patreon page, and I just want to say a quick thank you to the patrons who have subscribed so far. There are many benefits to being a patron for the Commander's Quarters, including being able to vote on future commanders for deck techs. There's even a general level tier where you get your own personalized deck tech dedicated to you. I truly couldn't do this without all of your support, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. If you haven't already, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, check out some of our other episodes on budget deck techs, Quest for Quarters episodes, commander topics, and creators' quarters. And with that, I'm out of here. Thanks again, and have a good one.